Okay, so we'll do a little warm up as usual, not so hot this week, thank goodness. Feet underneath us facing forward, so we really want the heels under the knees, knees under the hips, hips under shoulders, shoulders under ears, and we're lengthening up, growing a few inches, let the toes lift and splay out. Let's just sway round in a little circle. Doesn't matter which way, just feeling yourself on your heels, the balls of your feet, your big toe, your little toe. Let's change direction. And we're just coming to a nice standstill in the middle. Lovely. So the feet are parallel and they're underneath the hip bones, facing forward like we're skiing, so they're not turning in or out. The shoulders are back and down, so if we had imaginary pockets behind us here, we're popping those shoulder blades in there. Lovely, creating lots of space here. Let's take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Real big exhale so that you're really using your diaphragm, so like you're breathing out into a mirror to steam up a mirror. And those deep breaths, make them a bit longer, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, whatever works for you, but the same in as out. And we're imagining the rib cage is expanding, and then when you breathe out, your ribs are closing, they're drawing down, you're pulling the belly button in. So on the out breath is when you squeeze and pull everything in. Lovely. Few more deep breaths like this. Getting that breath right into the back as well and the sides. One more. Lovely. Let's just let the breath be normal length. And on the out breath, tuck in the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Breathe in, lift the chin. And let's start to engage the rib cage now. So when we breathe in, we're going to let the ribs lift up and create space here. Little arch in the back and down. Let's have the hands face forward, palms open, breathing in. And now, take those arms up, and that helps you flare the rib cage, separate the ribs from the hips, and down, and in, and down. Little bounce. So we can swing back. Let's swing all the way down, eyes to the knees, chest to the thighs. Let's do one more. Lovely big swing. And back to centre. Lovely. A little bit of warming up the neck and shoulders. Circling with your nose. Just get some movement in the neck. Still thinking of the posture. Shoulders are back and down. Tummy's pulled in. Let's change direction. Still thinking of our knees as well, so we don't want to have your legs locked out, they're just slightly soft. Lovely. Let's take the ear to the shoulder and to the other side. Really draw these hands down, fingertips towards the floor as if you're growing your arms from your shoulders all the way to the fingertips. Hold right and then just a little very gentle roll forward of the head and then change sides. So very gentle, get a lovely stretch all around the back of the neck. Lovely. Let's hold to the right. Let's use the 2 fingers just to create a little bit of tension. Keep this right shoulder down and then with the heel of the left hand push down. So we're creating a lovely stretch. Nice breath here. Lovely. Let's rotate and look down towards your toes. Lovely, let's release. Let's change sides. Ear to the left shoulder, 2 fingers, lengthen, heel of the hand down, draw both shoulders down. Rotate down, looking at those toes. And releasing, lovely, a little bit more into the shoulders and elbows, arms by the waist, shoulders back and down. Lead with the thumbs and open up and close. You imagine you've got a tray of drinks and you're taking them out to the side. So it's this bit of the arm here that's pulled in really tight. So your elbows will move away from your waist, but keep your armpits closed. If you've got a newspaper under there, and this opens up the shoulders a little bit, opens up the chest. Let's reach out and pull back in. And using breath, breathe in, breathe out. Really good for the shoulders, this one. Opens up the chest, really helps with the mobility in the shoulders. Lovely. Release. Let's take it up a little bit more. Hands in this position, and then we gently push those hands down. And then up, so the body stays still. Don't let the rib cage lift away from the tummy, especially when the arms come up. Let's do one at a time. Right arm down, look to the right and centre. Keep those shoulders and elbows level, and to the left. Lovely. Nice straight, strong wrists. Breathe in centre. Breathe out as we bend. One more to the left. And then we hold in the centre. Lovely. Hold, push those arms, wrists back, but keep the rib cage down and release. Lovely. Tiny little spine twist. Let's take the hands on the shoulders. A little bit of softness in the knees, a bit more of a bend. The hips stay forward, the knees stay forward. We don't want any twisting down here. It's just this upper body from here upwards. Going to twist gently to the right. Keep your chin in line. Imagine if you've got a watch, or if you have or you haven't, your chin stays in line here, so you don't move your head. You just move the whole body and the head follows. Lovely. Really keep those hips forward. It's just to get some rotation in this upper back and into the spine. And I'm leading with this shoulder, squeezing back. Reach the arm as well, and you can now add the head, look back at the hand. Rotate, rotate, reach and look. So just adding an extension of the arm and the neck. So we rotate, keep the head still, reach and look. Once more. Wonderful. And release. Good. We're going to warm these wrists up because quite a lot on all fours today. Not for the shoulders, it's just the position because we need to lift the legs, but you can do it on the elbows if that's uncomfortable for the wrist. But let's get them warm, circle them round and the other way, and bring them in front. And imagine you're on a motorbike, so you're revving the bike and back down, lifting up. If it's too much with your hands in this fist position, just have nice, very floppy hands and wrists. Lovely. Bring the hands together, link the fingers and circle round in a figure of 8 movement. Lovely. Then let's press to stretch those fingers, stretch into the wrist, and then the other way. So feel the fingers stretch, then the wrist. Try and keep the elbows soft. We don't want to stretch them. Stretch. Lovely. Pushing out. Using breath. Pushing up. Then come back down, push in front. Back of the hands to me. Separate the shoulder blades. Head comes down, round the upper back, and we're really stretching those shoulders. Wonderful. Release. A little bit of work for opening up the hips and working into these glutes. So as I said earlier, you've got your glute medius and maximus and minimus. Tends to be up around the hips. People don't think of having glutes here, but often hip pain, that's what is the cause of it. Weak glutes. Often bad posture is because of the weak glutes at the bottom. So there's all reasons for working out the glutes. So let's just lift your right heel and lower, then the left, lift and lower. So just a little bit of a stretch for the underneath of that foot. Then I'm going to lift the knee, heel, turn out and back in. So just a little bit of a wake up for the hip. We're waking up these muscles at the back because we're having to engage them to create this opening of the leg. Nice and gentle. We were doing a lot of this when we're lying down today. Still thinking of your posture, thinking of your breath. Nice and gentle, don't push into that toe too much. It's just opening up the legs. Lovely. One more. So now I'm going to make it a bit bigger. So I'm going to just keep the weight on my right leg, make sure I've got room. And this left leg is going to come forward and then out to the side and back. So I'm drawing a quarter of a circle. I want to start making it a little bit bigger. So you've got to engage the core for the balance. Have your supporting knee a little soft. Can we then take it back round a bit more? Mind what's behind you. And you're starting to sort of open up the hip, but you're also working the muscles in it as well. If you can, I'm just going to step forward a bit more. Can you do 3/4 of a circle? So you're going all the way around and back and almost squeeze behind, but without moving the body. So this will stay still. You're going to have to point the foot to be able to get it round. and you're touching the thighs together on the way back. And then cross in front, so we've got a whole, not a whole circle. Lovely, a few more. It's just waking up these muscles. Try not to grip with the leg you're standing on. One more. Lovely, let's change sides. Let's just starting with forward. So weight on this leg, a little bit soft, squeeze, and to the side and forward. So you can stay as always with these smaller movements, or you can make them bigger. Can we take it back and forward and back? The back one's the hard one because you want to tip forward, so you've got to keep upright. So you're really starting to engage these sort of glutes higher up, and then squeezing it back behind you. Oh, not as easy as it looks. Gentle squeeze. One side's always going to be easier, cross in front, cross behind, than the other one. It's a little bit ballet-ish, so sorry for the guys, but we've got to work the glutes. And one more. Lovely. Good. Just have a little walk through those feet in case you're pointing them and they get a bit tight. Wonderful. We're going to roll down. So usual roll down, feet underneath us. Let's have a little lift of the heels, lift of the arms. Heels down, arms down, chin down, shoulders, scoop the belly in, keep the weight in the fronts of the feet. Head is floppy, neck is floppy. If you need to, bend the knees, support yourself, work with your body, but stretch the back. Breath in at the bottom, breathing out, coming back up. Heel lift, arm lift. Heels down, arms down. If you want to challenge, you can close the eyes and roll down. Really feel the back stretching, the shoulder blades stretching, the tummy pulling in, the head is relaxed. Then you stretch the legs right at the bottom. Next one, we're going to take it down and come to the hands and knees. Opening the eyes if you have them closed. And just stay on the knees and just push back into the feet. So we're stretching out these, your feet are sort of in this position, they're stretched. Giving those toes a stretch. Lovely, let's then release the feet, just sit back and rest for a moment. You can let your hands come behind you, your shoulders relax and the head relax. Lovely. Very little quick opener for the chest, because we don't want to leave the shoulders out completely. So I'm going to be on the elbows, hand to the temple, open up. Now because we're on our knees, keep staying on the same side, opening and closing. Because you're on your knees, your hips are otherwise engaged, so you can only use your mobility in your spine here. Lovely. Two more. And then let's change sides. Lovely. So there's not too much weight in these elbows, it's just your hips are not moving because of the position you're in. So lead with the elbow, shoulder away from the chin. Let's do 3. Oh, I can tell I haven't done this for a week, you know, you really feel it. Just taking it up one more level, or you can stay here, lifting up. Same thing. If your wrists are sore, just lean back further. You don't have to come so far forward. Open up and close. Try and keep your left arm straight so you don't end up doing a push-up. If you want to take it to a full open, open up. And open up. And you can thread it through. Thread it through. Open up. It's a lovely rotation. Thread it through. Open up. Try and keep your hips still. A little bit harder. One more. Let's change sides. So again, you can be back down on the elbows if you want. Open and open. Elbow down, elbow up, elbow down. It's really good for the shoulders and that spine. If you want to take it to a full open, we can. Open and close. Open. Following the hand with your head. Can we rotate through? Open up. Keep your hips still. Tummy in. Rotate. One more. Lovely. And rest. Coming up, let's give those hands a little rest, stretch the wrists. Little cat stretch, and then we're going to get right into these glutes on all fours. So cat stretch, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, roll the shoulders back, lift the chin and the chest, arch the back, and then reverse, round the back, and breathe in. Really pushing the shoulders away from the ears and the chin so they're back, and then round. So you're taking your imaginary tail as if you're flicking your tailbone up behind you to touch you on your head, and then you're trying to take your forehead to flick the tail underneath and hit. So really lovely. For the spine, this one, whoops, my glasses are falling off. I need to get them tightened. One more. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to do all fours, exercise that you've done many a time. Usually we add the arms. We're just going to focus on the legs today, and again, if it's too much on the wrists, you could do this on your elbows if you prefer, if it gets a lot. So I'm just going to start with the right leg, and I'm going to do a 3-point tap. So my leg is out behind me. It's going to tap to the side, 1, tap behind, 2, tap and cross, 3, and just come back. Tap behind, tap to the side, tap behind, tap to the side. So shoulders strong, really push into the floor. And you want your back nice and neutral as much as you can, so you're squeezing your tummy in. You don't want to be moving your hips as you tap. So everything is still, so you're trying to get some mobility in the leg. Very similar to what we just did when we were standing, on a different angle. Squeeze the tummy, don't arch the back. Tap and tap, tap and cross. Tap centre, tap out. Tap, tap and cross. Lovely. One more. Tap side, tap in, tap and cross. Wonderful. We're going to change sides. Again, if your wrists have had enough, just come down onto the elbows. That's absolutely fine. Also, if you're perhaps feeling a little bit of stress in the lower back, because here is a lot easier to arch the back. If you're here, you can't arch your back. So if you feel that's a better position for you, that's fine. Shoulders back. So what I meant by that is we don't want to be collapsed. Nice and strong. Left leg back, trying to keep this flat, but because of the movement of the leg, you are going to rotate a bit. That's fine. Tap to the side, behind, and across. Especially when you cross, don't sink. Behind and side, behind and cross. So let the leg do the work, stretching out the hip as you tap behind, and as you tap on that diagonal behind the cross. Lovely. Keep the neck long, so you're looking straight down on your mat as if it's a mirror. Keep your tummy in tight. Mindful you don't kick anything. The legs are surprisingly long when you start lying on the floor. Lovely. 2 more. Last one. Oh, lovely. And relax. I'm going to do the next set on my elbows anyway, because my wrists are getting they do get a little bit achy when they've been pulled back in that position. Also good to mix it up, but if your elbows ache, you can do it. So what I want to do now is flexing the foot, and we're in this position, and my foot is flat as if I'm trying to push the ceiling away. Kick it up, bring it down. Nice and controlled. Kick it up. So if you want to stay on your wrist, that's absolutely fine, but just mind this arch doesn't happen. So you've got to keep the tummy pulled in, especially when you start to lift the leg up, your back wants to arch. So that's why the elbow position is a little bit better for this. Pushing up, back down, pushing up, back down, pushing up. So this again is really working the glute, the maximus bit, the bit around the side and underneath. Gives you a nice peachy bum, and it lifts up the bum. Squeeze the tummy, squeeze the bottom. 4 more, squeeze. and squeeze. Let's do 2 more. Try and push that foot. So you don't want to straighten your leg, keep it bent. You're trying to push up as much as you can, keep that angle. Relax for a moment. We're going to do the same on the other side. Just going to check my phone in case that was one of you trying to text. No, that's fine. Okay, again, on all fours, on the elbows, left foot, flex the foot, squeeze the tummy. Your foot, you can check it, you know, it's a nice bent leg, and squeeze it up, and tap that knee down, and squeeze it up. Nice strong shoulders, using the breath, again, let the head look down, we don't want to be here, there's a lot of stress on the neck. Nice long neck, so your head might even be a bit lower as you're on the elbows. Fantastic. Squeeze the tummy, squeeze the bum. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. 2 more. Lovely. Squeeze the bum. Last one. Oh, well done. Let's sit back. Open the knees. Wonderful. Sitting on our bottoms, we're going to do a little bit for the spine, a little bit of mobility, work the abs and lie down, and then some more glute work. Okay, so starting off, feet together, knees together, and let's use the knees to pull ourselves up nice and tall. Neck is long, space here, shoulders are over your hips, so you don't want to be here and you're trying not to be here, so you're really trying to visualise your hip bones and you're right over them, and you've got a little neutral spine, you've got an arch, you don't want to be here yet, so at the moment we're up. Breathe in, breathe out, now create the C shape, and you're pulling the belly back, creating a roundness. Breathe in, lift up again. So you're in your S curve, a curve at the back of the neck, a curve in the lower back. Breathing out, your C curve, the spine completely changes shape. Breathe in, breathe out. Starting to think of your hips curling under, like the pelvic tilt we do when we go up into a bridge. Keep your big toes on the floor. If you lift them, you start to engage the legs. We want the legs to not do anything here, it's all in the spine and the abs. Let's start to open the knees as we come forward. Lean forward, come back, and forward. Opening up the hip and back. You can add arms if you want to let go. You can really reach, stretch that back. You can start to go back a bit further, but keep those toes on the floor. If your toes start to lift, don't go back so far. Can we lift those arms up? Really work those back muscles. So you're reaching up and down, trying to get the arms right by those ears. Reach, squeeze the knees. Lots going on here. One more. Hold here. We open our curtains, turn the hands down and open and back and open and back and open. So nice space between the chin and the shoulders. You're opening up, twisting the chest, opening up the shoulders. Squeeze the knees together still. Keep the tummy pulled in tight. One more. Hold here. Bit further. Bit further. Last one, and lie down. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to work our abdominals, slightly different one. We always do the 100, so I'm going to mix it up today. Again, this is going to work our glutes and our hips. So let's have the knee into the chest and the other one, and your feet are together and your knees are open. So we're just going to start here. So I'm going to have the hands supporting, spread out so they can really support the back of my head. The elbows must stay back. You don't want to be here because you're just going to pull on your neck and you'll just be moving your head. What we want is the chest to lift up. So support the head, breathe in, chest lift. So I tend to think of looking just to the ceiling but diagonally a bit rather than all the way here, otherwise you're just going to be doing this again with your chin. Lift up, so your shoulder blades and your chest lift up off the floor, lovely. Up. Up. Okay, slight change if you want. Legs up, don't worry if they're not straight. As we lift up, the legs come down and open, so breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. If you want to, you can reach the hands through towards the feet and back behind you, through. So now you are curling a little bit more, but just again, think the chest lifts and the head follows. So try not to lead with your head, lead with your chest. Can we lift and hold? And small pulses for 2, for 3, for 4, for 5, for 6, for 7 and 8. Release, lovely. Knees together. Little roll round. Whilst we're here, we may as well work our lower abs and our obliques. A slightly different way today. Again, feet up. Don't worry if your legs aren't straight. Here is absolutely fine. Squeeze the tummy in back into the floor. So if you find bringing the knees in a bit helps you get your back flat, fine. If you're happy here and you haven't got an arch, whatever works for you. Hands to the side. Draw me a little circle. Doesn't matter which way round you're going. Really think of, are my shoulders down? Have I got space? Is my chin tucked in? Is my neck long? You don't want your chest in the air. You don't want a big gap under the back. So all these things. If you can't sort of check those off in a list, then just make the move much, much smaller. So it's not ankles. Your legs are one block and they're moving. As if you've got paintbrushes on your toes and you're drawing circles on the ceiling. Thinking of that lower back pressed into the floor, changing direction. Whew. Still surprisingly hot. Let's do a figure of 8 now, a little bit of a challenge. And again, you can take your 8 as far away and as close to you as you want, as long as you can maintain the back on the floor and not get an arch so your tummy doesn't dome, you don't start to lift. Wonderful, I'm going to change directions. I'm going to draw backwards 8. Breathing into it. Really works the lower abs and the sort of sides as well. One more. And bring those legs in. Lovely. Feet on the floor, hip width apart. And we're just going to give the abs a rest for a moment. So let's just let your right knee, hands by your sides, your right knee just fall open and then close. So your foot will roll, that's fine, but what we don't want is that happening. So you've got to keep this left leg still. How far can the right leg go without anything else moving? And it comes back. Let's do the left leg. How does it feel on that side? Again, the posture checks that we need are, we're in neutral, so you're not imprinted now, your pelvis is relaxed. Neutral spine, neck is long, chin is tucked in. Lovely, so this is our base move where we're going to start, but I'm going to add on to this. So what I'd like to do is bring your heels closer to your bum and go up onto the balls of your feet. Still with your knees together, and you can even put your toes together now as well. Same thing, let the foot open and the knee drops out. So you get a bit more movement, but you're a little bit less steady. Let's add some arms. Hold them here for a moment. Can we do the opposite arm to leg? So left leg goes down, open the right arm. Wonderful. Right leg goes down, left arm opens. Breathing into it. It's just a bit of combination work. We like the brain to work as well. Lovely. Both arms, both legs. Again, adding on. Arms open, legs open and close. Squeeze the thighs together on the close and the knees. Squeeze. Wonderful. Release, heels down. So we're going to go into some bridge exercises now and add that sequence on. So it's going to be optional if you don't like it, because it's a lot harder when you're lifted off the floor. It's going to really challenge these glutes. Going to do a couple of glute bridge exercises. So let's just prep the body for the bridge. Shoulders away from the ears, neck is long, chin is tucked in, hands are down. Breathing in, breathing out. As you breathe out, tummy flattens and pulls tight. So imagine you've got some little cherry tomatoes under your back, and as you breathe out, you're just giving them a little squeeze, but you're not squashing them yet. Breathe in. Breathe out, pull the tummy in, squeeze the back. Squeeze the pelvic floor muscles running from the front into your pelvis all the way down and underneath, squeezing everything on the inside. Now on the out breath, squeeze the pelvic floor and squash those tomatoes so your back flattens into the floor. So if you think you're on your tailbone, press your tailbone and then you move up to the coccyx and then the gap above that, and then there's a gap just before you get to the ribs. Take it to there and hold there. It's actually quite hard to hold, and then release. That's where we want to get to. We don't even need to get to the ribs and lift yet. Breathe in, breathe out. So you've got your tailbone, then the coccyx. It feels like the same bit, but they are different. Squash the tomatoes in between your tailbone and your ribs and release. This time we'll lift. Breathe in, breathe out. Tailbone, coccyx, all the bits in between. Get to the first rib, second rib, start to lift, third, fourth, fifth, and stop on the last one. It's not totally accurate of your ribs, but it's just to help with the counts. Squeeze with your bottom, because your legs are going to feel it, because we're not engaging the glutes, we're using the hamstrings. Make sure you're on the ball of the foot so that the inner thighs are engaged, the chest is relaxed, the hips and bottom are squeezed, neck is long. Breath in, breathe out, let's roll down. So find those ribs in the back. Rib, 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 rib. Now the bit between the ribs and the coccyx, and then finally the little tailbone on the end. So it's like a fusion of bones, the tailbone and the coccyx all together, and the sacrum. That's its proper name, not tailbone. Just making sure you're really pressing the spine into the floor. Imagine that the tummy muscles are really heavy, and that's what's pushing the spine into the floor. Lovely. Let's think about lifting our heels. So we're just on the balls of the feet and now continue to lift. Few lift and lowers like this. So if this is hurting the ankles or the feet, keep your feet flat on the floor. If we can, let's hold up here. Now, can we open one knee to the side? Really keeping this steady and close, then the left. Pushing through the ball of the foot. You're really feeling it now into those hips. Keep lifted. Don't let that other knee splay out. I'm going to start to add arms. Again, these are optional. Let's just take them off and leave them here. So can we do the opposite arm? So left knee goes down, right arm opens. And back, lovely. Should be feeling in these glutes a little bit now. Opposite arm to leg, opposite arm. One more opposite, then we're going to go for the double. So both arms, both knees open. Keep your hips lifted. Squeeze and lift up. So the knees drop, your hips stay high. So you're kind of thrusting upwards and squeeze. So you're really, it's not even letting the hamstrings get involved. It's all in the glutes. Again, arms are optional, so if you want to take them out, you can. Neck is long, shoulders are relaxed. Let's do 4 more here. Squeeze with the inner thighs. 3. Wonderful. 2. 1 more. Lovely. Heels down, roll down, arms down. Oh, let's bring those knees into the chest. Give them a little roll round. I'm going to stretch our legs out in a different position just to give us a chance to really get the hip flexors as well. So gently roll yourself up. Okay, come onto the knees. So again, really good we're stretching out your hamstrings and your hip flexors, because I've been doing a lot of stuff with the legs. I'm going to give them a stretch. Foot forwards, right knee forward, right leg forward. If you do the same, because I'm going to be adding arms. Drive the hips forward, so we're stretching out this left. 1. Take in your right hand, the back of your hand, just slide it round the back of your waist. And then what we want to do is slightly twist. So you can use your hand to just give a little twist. If you're not comfortable with that, you just stay forward. But if you are, and you think you can go a bit low, we can inchworm the right foot forward a little bit and just drop down a bit, and then you can make your twist a little bit more. If you're comfortable, the left hand, if you have the flexibility, you could come down. And then you can think of this shoulder, the right shoulder pushing back. You could open up the arm, reach up again, really listen to your body. The knee must stay over the ankle, it doesn't drive forward, and you're sinking down. We want the stretch in the hip, we've just added a little stretch in the waist. Again, if it's too much, just stay forward. Again, it's absolutely fine. One more lovely breath. Perfect, let's come back. So, very small inchworm back, let's come back to where we were. And we are here, slightly different stretch. Lengthen out the right leg now and flex the foot and just have a little wiggle side to side, again opening and closing. Might feel a bit of movement here because we've been, or the muscles working, because we've been doing a lot here. What I want to do now, you might have to have your heel a bit further back to you, so you're a bit more square. Sit backwards, so you're pushing your bottom back, and you're going to feel this stretch here. You may find you need to grab onto something, lean on something. You can use many a thing. Don't need yoga block, you can just grab onto anything. That's what yoga blocks do ultimately, they help you get into positions. If you can reach the floor, wonderful. Don't push on your knee. Just drive your hips behind you and drive your chest down. This leg is nice and straight, it's a lovely hamstring stretch. Another thing I want to do is to really stretch out the hip. So from here, this front leg, we're just going to bring it forward like that. The back foot, instead of being just underneath me, I'm going to take it to the left a little bit. Again, as comfortable as your knees are. Then I'm going to, what I call inchworm, my back foot back. And then just start to push into this hip a bit more. Doesn't matter if this hip isn't on the floor, but what you might find, you can push to the side, get it on the floor, come back over. It's really see how your knees feel, but we're stretching out this hip rather than having the leg crossed and pulling it in. We're just doing it in a different way. And pushing down to the side if you can. Can we reach forward onto that leg? Again, gently into it, and doesn't matter if you stay lifted, just work with your body. But think of that back leg stretching back as if someone's got hold of it and is pulling it. And that just increases your stretch in the outside of your right hip a little bit more. Everything to relax in the head and neck area. Wonderful. We might as well go for the full thing. So just pick up your back foot. See how that feels. Can we now sit back up? That could be enough. If you can reach back, I'll reach back with the same arm, left foot. You might find that's easier. Really work with your own body. Don't worry if you can't grab it. It's just stretching right into the knee, the hips, a really good stretch for everything. But we might be a bit tight, so never force anything. Listen to your body and release. So reversing on the other side. So I'm going to come back to both knees. I'm going to step the left knee forward, left foot forward. So starting here, getting a nice balance, drive the hips forward. Back of the left hand, round the back. And you could just twist slightly. The right hand on the knee is going to help that. So this could be enough for you, and that's fine. But if you want to, you can wiggle, inchworm your foot forward and drop slightly. See how that knee feels? Sometimes you're rolling over that kneecap, so this is quite a squidgy mat, so make sure your knees feel okay. You can stay there, or you can reach down. Then you can start to look over the left shoulder, so looking back, and then maybe extend the arm. Really drive the hips down, keeping the knee over the ankle. One more glorious breath. And release. So from here, we bring the foot back a bit. Come back to the knees. Straighten the left leg. I just find hands on hips helps with balance. Wiggle right and left. So again, opening up this hip. Lovely. Then I'm going to bring it back a little bit more, whatever works for you. Push your hips back. And we're trying to keep this nice and straight, so it isn't rounding over, it's just the chest comes forward. It's called folding at the hips, it's like you've folded. And again, grab something if you need it. It's a bit wobbly. But if you can reach down, if you have the flexibility, you can use your fingers. But not everyone is. There's no point in bending because you're not going to get that stretch. So it's best to be up here. Grab onto a sofa or just balance, squeeze the tummy, use the core nice and long. Again, don't push on the knee, but you can drive a little bit. Best to not really push anywhere above the knee, to be fair, because you're just gonna, you don't want you to fall on it or anything. Lovely. So we are now gonna come forward again and tuck this foot in. So we're here. Then you're going to take your right leg back as much as you can. And this foot, you might find it can wiggle out a little bit. So there's a slight angle. It doesn't have to be straight, otherwise you tend to sit on your heel. But again, you've got to listen to your knees, because as far as your legs going to go, it's going to be your knees. And have a little rock, pushing down, pushing to the side, really feeling these hips get lovely and open. Stretch that leg back. Then I'm going to drop to the side and hold here. Leaning forward into it again if that's all right for your body. Then let's take your right foot, bend it, then come up. So you can grab onto that right foot if you can reach it, if not, don't worry. Nice long breaths. Done a lot of real intense leg stretching here, but should feel really good. Good for your spine. We've spent so long on shoulders the last few weeks. It's nice to really, got to look after the bottom bits as well. Everything affects the spine. Let's release gently. Well done. Ooh, let's come back. We'll do a little bit of work on our sides. So I'm going to grab, if you've got a bit of a pillow actually for the neck, grab one. Just a small cushion is fine. And I'm going to lie on my side, knees together. I'll just hold on for a moment. And in fact, I'm going to take, once I'm here, this top knee over the top and lengthen that one away. And that just really pulls me over. And making sure your hands are the same length. If your top arm is here, then your shoulder's not over your other shoulder. Same, if your bottom arm is here, you're nearly on your back. So this is going to be hardly any stretch. If you have your shoulders right underneath you, shoulder to shoulder, fingertips are the same length. When you open, it's going to really work this, which is what we want to work. So we open up, follow the hand with the head, and close. So use the breath, breathe in and out. Try and keep the shoulder away from the chin. So reach, reach, reach and open, keeping the knee down. I'm going to take it to a semicircle over the head. So draw a circle up and round and then close. Again, circle up and round and close. And again. And this time just hold where the best bit of that stretch is. Hold for a few breaths. Lovely, and release. You guys can just flip over. I'm going to change ends so I can just see you. Same exercise on the other side. So again, making sure these shoulders are on top of each other so the hands are even. Top leg over the top, bottom one can lengthen out a bit. And again, open up, follow the fingers. So you might find one side is not as tight as the others. Shoulder away from the chin. Breathe. And close. And breathe. And close. Let's take it to that lovely semicircle. Up and round. And close. And again, up and round. I want to do one little more exercise after this, just for the back strength, which we'll do on our tummies. Hold where the best stretch is. And release. Roll over onto your tummies. We're going to do what's called swimming. So I'm going to do the feet first. I'm going to rest the hands on the head down. So this is nice and long and there's space between the shoulders and the ears. So my feet are both going to lift off the floor and the knees, and they're just going to wiggle. So it's like I'm swimming, like those little wind-up toys. I'm going to do those, and then I'm going to add the upper body as well. So just start with the feet. Squeeze the tummy so you're pulling your belly in. Lengthen the legs, lift them up, knees off the floor, little tiny kicks. So it comes from, again, these glutes working the bottom, that's where it comes from. So imagine you're trying to swim through the water really fast. And breathe. Pull that tummy in. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more breaths, that is. Last one. Lovely. I'm going to do arms and legs. If you want to leave the legs and just do the arms, that's fine. So it's exactly the same thing. We've got our arms lifted. I tend to pull them back a bit, otherwise you're going to overreach and you're going to be all scrunched up. So pull them back a little bit and you're swimming like that, okay? So we lift the arms, lift the legs, squeeze the tummy and swim. It should be natural, your arms and legs will be opposite, but keeping the body still. If you're getting cramp, flex your feet, otherwise a little tiny wiggle with your hands and your arms. Pull the belly in, neck is long, space between the shoulders and the ears, looking straight down at the mat. And squeeze. 2 more breaths. Last one. And release. Let's push back into child pose, stretch that lower back. Lovely. Just a little bit of something to loosen up the back, and then we're going to have a little relaxation. It's a whiz by. On the tummy again. Knees together. Feet lifted, knees bent, head down. Just a little sway. And just see how that feels with your back. So if it feels okay, what you can do is just keep the left leg bent, right leg is on the floor. You can have your hands down, you can roll, and you can tap back a bit with that leg. Then come back to centre. Left leg is down, bend the right knee, and just roll a little bit. It just loosens up and opens up the back. If you prefer, if you feel you're squashing yourself, you can push up a little bit more. Really make it a big move. It's called the scorpion. So your foot is your scorpion's tail and you're trying to sting your own hand. That's the best way of thinking of it. So you're trying to get a real stretch in the body. But again, it depends how your wrists are feeling and your shoulders. Or you might want to keep it nice and gentle as we did on the floor, just a little rock from side to side. One more. Lovely. Let's sit back. Come up to the knees, one lovely little chest stretch that I like to do, shoulder stretch. It's good whilst you're on the knees, hands link them together, stretch back. If you're comfortable, you can lean forward. Oh, I get a lovely click in my neck when I do that, love it. My hands invariably fling apart in this weather. That's why sometimes the straps are good, because it's just too hot, my hands just... Lovely, let's lie ourselves down. Let's have a little bit of relaxation. Well done, everybody. Closing your eyes, maybe turning off your light. Oh yeah, we know what that song means. Finding a comfortable position. Palms up if you're receiving, palms down if you're giving. That's how I like to think of it. So you could be wherever you want. Let your feet relax, eyes are closed. Just let your breath return to normal. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Then let's scrunch up those toes, feeling tension around the joints. Take another breath in. And as you breathe out, let those toes relax. And then flex your feet, flex your ankles. Feeling tension in the back of the ankle and the front of the ankle. Take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, let those feet just flop to the side and relax, and all the tension leaves the foot. Then let's feel tension in the calves and the knees and the bottom, squeezing it, breathing in, breathe out, relax. Then let's sense tension in the tummy, the pelvic floor, riding up the body up into the shoulders, shrug the shoulders, breathing in, breathe out. Then from the shoulders to the fingertips, lengthening the arms, stretching the fingers, feeling tension run through them, breathing in, breathe out, relax. Making a fist with your hand, feeling tension running through the knuckles, into the palms of the hands, holding on to any negative thoughts. Take a breath in. Let's shake those thoughts out. Relax those hands and release. Then into the face, closing the eyes tightly, clenching the jaw. Breathing in, breathe out, let the face relax. Then one last time, let's give everything a good squeeze. Feel tension run through the body from head to toe. Breath in, breathe out, relax. And just place your hands just on your shoulders or the very top of your rib cage. And just breathe here, relaxing. Just sensing your chest rise and fall, and the breath giving you life. Let's now move the hands down just to the last ribs, just by the diaphragm, and just again, breathing in and out, natural to your own rhythm, breathing in life, breathing in energy, just sensing the rib cage lift and lower. And last, let's place the hands on the tummy, on the abdomen. And again, really feeling that life breath in you as it rises and falls. And then just relax. Hands wherever you want. Taking a moment for you. let your mouth relax. Let the jaw just gently fall apart. And then almost sensing a smile in the face. Going to run the tongue around the teeth. The eyes can roll around in the head. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Circle the wrists and the ankles. Let's have a full body stretch. We can gently open the eyes. Mindful if there's lights on. Bringing the knees into the chest one at a time. Giving yourself a little hug. Roll round over to your right. Looking down to the floor. Let's come onto the knees. Opening the eyes if you haven't already. Let's stretch out those feet again. Pushing back on the feet. And then onto the balls of the feet. And then let's take those heels down. Relax the upper body and the head. While we're here, you can just shake your head side to side like you're saying no. And you can have a little nod. Like you're saying yeah. Squeeze the tummy in. Very, very gently start to uncurl the body. Stacking the vertebrae back up on top of each other. Woo. Let's face the front. Let's have a little breath to finish. And again. One more. And give yourself a clap. Thank you so much. I'm going to quickly unmute and stop recording.